The Great Himalaya Trail. The Great Himalaya Trail, GHT, is a long-distance trekking route that traverses the entire length of the Himalayan range, from Bhutan in the east to Afghanistan in the west. The GHT is over 4,500 kilometers or 2,800 miles long and passes through 5 countries, Bhutan, Nepal, India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. The Great Himalaya Trail is a challenging trek that requires a high level of physical fitness, trekking experience, and acclimatization to high altitudes. Trekking seasons vary depending on the section. The Great Himalaya Trail can be divided into 10 sections, each of which offers a unique trekking experience. I have shown all the sections of the Great Himalaya Trail in this video. First, the Bhutan section of the Great Himalaya Trail is a challenging and remote trek that takes around 25 to 30 days to complete. The trail passes through high-altitude mountain passes, deep valleys, and dense forests, offering trekkers a diverse range of landscapes to explore. Along the way, trekkers will encounter traditional Bhutanese villages, ancient monasteries, and nomadic communities. One of the highlights of the Bhutan section of the Great Himalaya Trail is the Jomolhari Trek. This trek takes trekkers across the base of Mount Jomolhari, one of the most sacred mountains in Bhutan. The trek offers stunning views of the mountain and passes through remote villages and high-altitude campsites. Other notable sections of the Bhutan Trail include the Layagosa Trek, which takes trekkers through the remote Laya Valley, and the Snowman Trek, which is considered one of the most difficult treks in the world. It is worth noting that trekking in Bhutan is tightly regulated by the government, and trekkers are required to travel with a licensed Bhutanese tour operator. This helps to ensure that the environment and local communities are protected and that trekkers have a safe and enjoyable experience on the trail. The next section of the Great Himalaya Trail is the Kanchenjunga section. The Kanchenjunga section of the Great Himalaya Trail is a challenging and remote trekking route that passes through the eastern region of Nepal and the Kanchenjunga Conservation Area, which is home to the third highest peak in the world, Mount Kanchenjunga. The trek takes around 20 to 25 days to complete and offers trekkers stunning views of the Himalayas, including Mount Kanchenjunga, as well as a chance to explore the diverse culture and traditions of the local communities. The trail begins in the town of Taplejung and follows the Tama River through dense forests, alpine meadows, and high-altitude passes. Along the way, trekkers will pass through remote villages and encounter traditional Buddhist monasteries. One of the highlights of the Kanchenjunga section of the Great Himalaya Trail is the Pangpima Base Camp Trek. This trek takes trekkers to the base camp of Mount Kanchenjunga, offering stunning views of the mountain and its surrounding peaks. Another notable section of the Kanchenjunga Trail is the Selilar Pass Trek, which takes trekkers over the Selilar Pass at an altitude of 4,290 meters. This pass offers breathtaking views of the surrounding peaks and a chance to experience the rugged beauty of the Himalayan landscape. It is worth noting that trekking in the Kanchenjunga region requires a special permit, and trekkers are required to travel with a licensed trekking agency. This helps to ensure that the environment and local communities are protected and that trekkers have a safe and enjoyable experience on the trail. Overall, the Kanchenjunga section of the Great Himalaya Trail is a challenging and rewarding trek that offers trekkers a chance to experience the stunning natural beauty and unique culture of the eastern region of Nepal. Next comes the Makalubarun section. The Makalubarun section of the Great Himalaya Trail is a challenging and remote trekking route that passes through the Makalubarun National Park in eastern Nepal. This region is known for its pristine forests, high-altitude passes, and stunning views of the Himalayas. The trek takes around 20 to 25 days to complete and offers trekkers a chance to experience the rugged beauty of the Himalayan landscape. Along the way, trekkers will pass through traditional Sherpa villages and encounter unique wildlife, including the endangered red panda. The trail begins in the town of Tumalingtar and follows the Arun River into the Makalubarun National Park. Trekkers will pass through dense forests, high-altitude passes, and alpine meadows, with stunning views of the surrounding peaks, including Mount Makalu, the 5th highest mountain in the world. One of the highlights of the Makalu-Barun section of the Great Himalaya Trail is the Shapani Kernel Pass trek. This trek takes trekkers over the Shapani Kol Pass at an altitude of 6,135 meters, offering breathtaking views of the surrounding peaks. Another notable section of the Makalu-Barun Trail is the Barun Valley Trek, which takes trekkers through the remote Barun Valley, home to unique wildlife and some of the most pristine forests in the Himalayas. It is worth noting that trekking in the Makalu-Barun region requires a special permit, and trekkers are required to travel with a licensed trekking agency. This helps to ensure that the environment and local communities are protected and that trekkers have a safe and enjoyable experience on the trail. In the same way, the Everest section of the Great Himalaya Trail too offers trekkers a chance to experience the world's highest peak and the unique culture of the Sherpa people. The Everest section of the Great Himalaya Trail is perhaps the most well-known and popular section of the trail. This section takes trekkers through the Solu-Khumbu region of Nepal and offers stunning views of the world's highest peak, Mount Everest. The trek takes around 20 to 25 days to complete and offers trekkers a chance to experience the unique culture and traditions of the Sherpa people who live in the region. Along the way, trekkers will pass through traditional Sherpa villages, ancient monasteries, and stunning landscapes. The trail begins in the town of Yuri and follows the famous Everest Base Camp trek route to the base of Mount Everest. Trekkers will pass through dense forests, high-altitude passes, and alpine meadows, with stunning views of the surrounding peaks, including Mount Everest and Mount Lhotse. One of the highlights of the Everest section of the Great Himalaya Trail is the Gokyo Lakes Trek. This trek takes trekkers to the Gokyo Lakes, a series of pristine lakes situated at high altitude with stunning views of the surrounding peaks. Another notable section of the Everest Trail is the Three Passes Trek, which takes trekkers over three high-altitude passes, Rinjola, Shola, and Kongmala, and offers some of the most spectacular views of the Himalayas. It is worth noting that trekking in the Everest region is very popular, and the trails can be quite crowded during peak season. However, there are still many opportunities to get off the beaten path and experience the stunning natural beauty and unique culture of the region. By contrast, the Roll Walling section of the Great Himalaya Trail is off the beaten path adventure in the Himalayas. The Roll Walling section of the Great Himalaya Trail is a challenging and remote trekking route that passes through the Roll Walling Valley, a beautiful and isolated region in the Himalayas. The Roll Walling Valley is located in the Solu-Khumbu district of Nepal and is surrounded by high peaks, including Mount Gauri Shankar, 7,134 meters, which is one of the tallest mountains in the Roll Walling region. The Roll Walling section of the GHT starts in the small town of Jogat, which is about a day's drive from Kathmandu. From Jogat, the trail heads east along the Roll Walling River and passes through several small villages before reaching the village of Bedding, which is the largest settlement in the Roll Walling Valley. Bedding is located at an altitude of 3,690 meters and is surrounded by beautiful mountains and glaciers. From Bedding, the trail continues north towards the Tso-Rolpa Glacier, which is one of the largest glaciers in Nepal. This section of the trail is challenging and requires good physical fitness and trekking experience. The trail passes through high passes, rocky terrain, and steep climbs, but the views of the surrounding mountains and glaciers are truly spectacular. After crossing the Tso-Rolpa Glacier, the trail descends into the neighboring valley of Khumbu, where it joins the more popular Everest Base Camp trekking route. From here, trekkers can either continue to Everest Base Camp or return to Kathmandu via the town of Lukla. The Roll Walling section of the GHT is a remote and challenging trek that is best suited for experienced trekkers who are looking for a unique and off-the-beaten-path adventure in the Himalayas. It is also important to note that the trail passes through several high-altitude areas, so proper acclimatization is essential to avoid altitude sickness. Another comes, the Longtong section of the Great Himalaya Trail. The Longtong section of the Great Himalaya Trail is a popular trekking route that passes through the Longtong National Park in central Nepal. The Longtong region is located north of Kathmandu and is home to several high peaks, including Longtong Lirung, 7,227 meters, which is one of the tallest mountains in the region. The Longtong section of the GHT starts in the town of Sayabrubasi and heads north towards the Longtong Valley. The trail passes through several small villages and forests of rhododendron and bamboo before reaching the Longtong Valley, which is surrounded by high peaks and glaciers. The Longtong Valley is a beautiful and scenic area that is home to several small villages, including Longtong Village, which was devastated by an earthquake in 2015 but is now being rebuilt. The trail also passes by the Kyanjin Gampa Monastery, which is a popular destination for trekkers and offers stunning views of the surrounding mountains. From Kyanjin Gampa, trekkers can continue to several high passes, including the Ganjala Pass, 5,122 meters, which is a challenging but rewarding trekking route that offers stunning views of the Himalayas. After crossing the pass, the trail descends into the Hilambu region, which is known for its forests and small villages. The Longtong section of the GHT is a popular trekking route that is well suited for both experienced and novice trekkers. The trail offers stunning views of the Himalayas and passes through several small villages and communities, providing a unique insight into the local culture and way of life. It is important to note that the Longtong region was also affected by the 2015 earthquake, so trekkers should check with local authorities for the latest trail conditions before embarking on the trek. Next comes the Manaslu section of the Great Himalaya Trail. The Manaslu section of the Great Himalaya Trail is a challenging and remote trekking route that circles the Manaslu Massif, the 8th highest mountain in the world at 8,156 meters. The Manaslu region is located in western Nepal and is home to several ethnic communities and stunning mountain landscapes. The Manaslu section of the GHT starts in the town of Aragat and follows the Budi Gandaki River into the heart of the Manaslu region. The trail passes through several small villages and communities, including the traditional Gurung and Tibetan villages of Suma and Samdo, before crossing the Lakila Pass, 5,135 meters, which is one of the highest passes in the Himalayas. The trekking route offers a diverse range of landscapes, from lush forests and terraced fields to high alpine pastures and glacial lakes. The trail also offers stunning views of the Manaslu Massif and other Himalayan peaks, including Himaltuli, 7,893 meters, Ganesh Himal, 7,422 meters, and Ngadichuli, 7,871 meters. The Manaslu section of the GHT is a remote and challenging trek that is best suited for experienced trekkers who are looking for a unique and off-the-beaten-path adventure in the Himalayas. It is important to note that the region is relatively untouched by tourism, and trekkers will need to be self-sufficient and prepared to camp for several nights. Additionally, permits are required to enter the Manaslu Conservation Area and trek the Manaslu Circuit. Likewise, the Annapurna section of the Great Himalaya Trail is extremely popular. The Annapurna section of the Great Himalaya Trail is a popular and well-known trekking route that circles the Annapurna Massif, which is a group of peaks in the central Nepal Himalayas that includes Annapurna I, the 10th highest mountain in the world at 8,091 meters. The Annapurna region is known for its stunning mountain scenery, diverse landscapes, and rich cultural heritage. The Annapurna section of the GHT starts in the town of Bisisahar and follows the Marsayangdi River into the heart of the Annapurna region. The trekking route passes through several small villages and communities, including the famous Gurung village of Gandruk, before reaching the town of Jomsom, which is the gateway to the Upper Mustang region. From Jomsom, trekkers can continue to the Annapurna Sanctuary, a high-altitude plateau surrounded by towering Himalayan peaks, including Annapurna I and Mishapucha, 6,993 meters. The trekking route also offers several options for high-altitude passes, including the Thorong La Pass, 5,416 meters, which is one of the highest passes in the Himalayas. The Annapurna section of the GHT is a popular trekking route that is well suited for both experienced and novice trekkers. The trail offers stunning views of the Himalayas and passes through several small villages and communities, providing a unique insight into the local culture and way of life. The trekking route also offers several options for tea house accommodation, making it a more comfortable and accessible trek than some of the more remote sections of the GHT. It is important to note that the Annapurna region is relatively well developed in terms of tourism infrastructure, but trekkers should still be prepared for high altitude and variable weather conditions and should take proper precautions to avoid altitude sickness. Similarly, the Dolpo section of the Great Himalaya Trail passes through the habitation of several rare and endangered species. The Dolpo section of the Great Himalaya Trail is a remote and challenging trekking route that passes through the Dolpo region of western Nepal. The Dolpo region is known for its rugged landscapes, ancient Buddhist monasteries, and traditional Tibetan culture. The Dolpo section of the GHT starts in the town of Jufal and follows the ancient trade route that connects Nepal with Tibet. The trail passes through several small villages and communities, including the traditional Tibetan villages of Ringmo and Saldang, before crossing several high-altitude passes, including the Kangla Pass, 5,350 meters, and the Jengla Pass, 5,090 meters. The trekking route offers a diverse range of landscapes, from barren high-altitude deserts to lush forests and alpine meadows. The Dolpo region is also home to several rare and endangered species, including the snow leopard and the Himalayan blue sheep. The Dolpo section of the GHT is a remote and challenging trek that is best suited for experienced trekkers who are looking for a unique and off-the-beaten-path adventure in the Himalayas. The region is relatively untouched by tourism, and trekkers will need to be self-sufficient and prepared to camp for several nights. Additionally, permits are required to enter the Shayfoxundo National Park, which is located in the heart of the Dolpo region. And the Karakoram section of the Great Himalaya Trail passes through the stunning views of the Karakoram Range. The Karakoram section of the Great Himalaya Trail is a remote and challenging trekking route that passes through the Karakoram Range, which is a mountain range that spans across the borders of Pakistan, India, and China. The Karakoram Range is home to several of the highest peaks in the world, including K2, the second highest mountain in the world. The Karakoram section of the GHT starts in the town of Skardu in Pakistan and follows the historic trade routes that have connected South and Central Asia for centuries. The trekking route passes through several small villages and communities, including the traditional Balti villages of Askol and Hushi, before reaching the base of some of the world's highest mountains. The trekking route offers stunning views of the Karakoram Range, including several of the world's highest peaks, such as K2, Broad Peak, and Gasherbrum. The route also passes through several glaciers, including the Baltoro Glacier, which is one of the longest glaciers in the world. In brief, the Great Himalaya Trail is a challenging and rewarding trek that offers trekkers a chance to experience the unique culture and stunning natural beauty of the Himalayas. The long trails pass through 5 countries: Bhutan, Nepal, India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. In some section, GHT also passes through off-the-beaten paths and relatively untouched regions of the Himalayas. Additionally, permits are also required to enter the restricted areas of different regions. Thank you for watching.